Hello, everybody. We just finished day 2 at the Mental Health Summit 2026, and we're in Banff, beautiful Banff, Alberta. Can't get any better. We had so much conversation here, so many conversations, right?
You saw elk this morning?
Elk, yeah, I walked by 4 of them,
Yeah, right on the sidewalk,
and they did
right by our
not.
hotel.
They did not mind me.
Nope.
They were minding their own business, but I am in their house, so I should be minding, right?
Yes, you should.
But I did take photos of them from the distance. I didn't disturb them. But we want to talk about day 2. So I have Coach Tony with me. She was incredible. She stepped out of her own comfort zone in big
Yes,
time.
I
So
did.
congratulations, because it's not easy coming to these events, right? It's not.
No, but I learned so much. I learned
You're a new person.
And I'm just leaving with
Treasures.
ideas that I'm going to need some time to process.
Of course.
Big
Decompose.
ideas, lots of big
Big
ideas. And it has been, I'm tired in a good way.
Yes.
This
This is a good exhaustion.
It is a good exhaustion, and it was a good stress too.
Yes.
But I had some conversations with the people that were at the booths around us they feel like friends now. They really do.
Yeah.
And they were all very unique, interesting, individual people. Everyone had a story, and the story was fascinating.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I thought, we're all here because we're pioneers. We're all here because we felt this. Our nervous system felt this
Yes.
before other people feel it.
Yes.
And we were looking for a solution because we were feeling it too.
Yes.
And so we're a little ahead of the game,
Yes.
kind of canaries in a coal mine.
Yes.
But we're all looking for the same thing, and we all appreciate each other and what we're doing.
Yes. There's no competition in this at all.
No.
It's not a race against who's going to get it. It's more, we need to solve something that's so big and so much hurting, and so many humans are suffering. So there is solution coming to this. So I'm just excited as you are. And the most important thing I notice is how much the Readiness OS could be the foundation that can hold all
Yes.
ideas that are brilliant here, and it can hold all of it. It can
Yes.
contain all of it. So it just it came together.
Yes, and even though we're in these beautiful mountains with all of this snow, the image that I'm leaving with is there's a desert out there. And in that desert, there are a lot of people, and we're one of them.
Yes.
And each of those people is a little oasis in the desert. And it's hard to find, and it's life-sustaining.
Yes.
And I think that what happened this weekend was we started to make some paths between those oases.
Mm.
And we started to
Like
find
it.
ways that people can which oases do you want to go to first, and then which one comes second, and how can we work together to get all these people across this desert. And I think someday there's going to be enough that there won't be a desert anymore. It will be a world that's just in bloom. So that's how I feel at the end of it. It was an amazing
I
2
love
days.
garden. I love garden. I love taking flowers. So I'm
The
excited.
mountains are going
Stop
away.
it. Don't take the mountain away. That's unfair. It's automatic. We can't stop.
AI. It's
Automatic,
AI's
so I
fault.
can't stop it. So we have to let it go. But you saw the view. It's still there. But okay, so what was day 2? What was your biggest takeaway on day 2?
Everyone that I spoke to, no matter what role they were in, whether they were a private psychologist, whether they were a person who publishes, doing doctoral research, whether they were teachers, everyone, the conversation was never, well, we don't think this is good. We didn't have to prove to anyone.
Yeah.
Everyone
And
saw
we didn't
it.
come with that energy either.
No.
I
And
never had that. You didn't have that.
the conversations were more about how can we make this work for us?
Yes.
So I think a lot of people left with the thought, how do we make this work? And we presented that, well, what do you need?
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you that until you tell us what you need. But I think just like with holistic success codes, what you're going to do, I don't know. We're going to do whatever you need. And I think that softened a lot of people and helped them realize that we're here for the same thing that they are. Someone asked me, is this multi-level marketing? No. But that was the only time anyone ever experienced. And as soon as I started talking, she got that, oh, and that was one of the conversations where you were even asked, do we do this in French?
Yes.
That was a barrier, and that barrier was easily
Yeah,
crossed.
we have
So
coaches who can
Our
Fluid.
conversations were not about, is this something that we see value in? Our conversations were about,
How do we take it?
how do we take it? How do we
Yes.
take it and go with it? So that's, we'll see what follows through from that.
And with that same conversation, when you told me that the lady asked, one of the ladies, she asked about how's the scale? How do we scale it? How does it happen in a school environment? Because school is all about scaling, right?
Yes.
So you have to show them how do you mass produce this, right? Because we've been about holistic and customization, individualization, personalization.
Mhm.
And then at school level, those are usually hard to achieve. We
Yes.
try our best, right? And hard to achieve. So then when someone's receiving how holistic our process is, how involved it is, that is a question. How do we scale this? But that is a job that I can take on completely, because that's kind of challenges what I'm built for. I love that challenge because, first of all, you remember the day one, those 3 boys came
Mhm.
and they said, we will vote to have this in our school.
Yes.
Can we get this? And can
you force them to
we
do
force
this?
them to have this in their school?
That says a lot about what they're used to, doesn't it? Can you force them to do something that's good for them? Yeah.
Yes, that's true. In another way, it's
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah. So what, with them coming and saying that, and then when she asked, that is something all of our coaches along with me will make it happen. I mean, it's gonna make all these problems we have at hand dissolve, and we're going to get back into flow, and the teachers who love the job that they do are going to go back and do the job they love in the space they love, and children are going to start learning, and we're going to eliminate behaviors, and school's going to become a beautiful oasis, a garden again.
Yeah, a place that attracts teachers, not sheds them.
Up. So I just feel like everything kind of came in a circle for me when she asked, I guess it's scale. Well, of course, if that's your only worry, leave that to us.
Yes.
Because that's excitement for me.
Yeah. Can we make this work for
everybody?
1.5 billion people?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
But it all starts small, but it always works because that's the willingness, right? The teacher's willingness. Students, he said it, the boy said it. He understood what it was, and he's saying that why can't we have this?
Mm-hmm. And why can't you have it?
Yeah. So if every one of these kids hears it, and then they feel like if we have this, we can all succeed. And we all talk about, reaching our full potential, but we don't have a way of reaching it. We get blocked and we get stuck and we suppress ourselves. We don't know how to express ourselves, right? If we can give them the Readiness OS to just do just that, anybody can reach their full potential. Anybody.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
And
even with labels.
Yes.
Any label. It doesn't matter.
And I'm seeing it already in Flow Foundation's work for the teachers, bringing teachers back to who they are,
yes.
Having them be able to tap into their situational awareness again, to be aware of the room, and see something happening and have hope that you can do something to change it.
Yes.
And then to choose something that you just learned to help yourself and to try that with your students. We didn't have to teach that teacher to do that. We just had to bring that teacher back to teaching, give her a couple of tools that she felt in her body. And when she sees a student, she's naturally, or he is naturally going to go in and see if that works for the student. And when it does, they will start to make changes. We don't have to give them a program. Try this, try this. As a consultant, I could have walked into her classroom and said, well, you should try responsive classroom. Maybe you should have a morning meeting. That all feels like more.
Yes.
But when we show her that and she feels that and she feels the help.
Yeah, and then she also returning to herself. First, we have to be returning here, right?
But that's what I'm saying. She's already returning to herself because she's already back to that hope, back to that care, back to that feeling that she can change those kids in her class. And that feeling has gone for some teachers. So, and that's just week 4.
Yes.
Kohila, that's amazing. It's truly 4 more weeks left an amazing process.
Yeah, I love it. I love seeing their face. And another thing, that side effect, you can ask all the teachers who have gone through, that your skin starts glowing.
I know.
I
might have to do this.
Back pain and shoulder pain have been going from our Flow Foundation, and they go to massage, and the massage person says your skin feels different. It's no longer like this
Yeah.
the stiff skin anymore you had that I can't even work on you.
The
Now I can
photographer that was in Edmonton didn't quite recognize me and didn't quite know who was talking to him.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need to do something with that picture that I have of myself from before we started.
That's your flow
And a
foundation.
picture of myself now. It's like my before and after. Because
Yes.
I looked at it today and I look 15 years older in that picture from 4 years ago.
So it's not only going to bring you back home, it's going to give you a new face that's going to look younger by 15 years. She just said it. I'm not saying it.
Yeah.
And you're going to be happier and you're going to serve anyone from an overflow. Because when you're depleted and serving from that, it's an empty cup and it doesn't work. And a lot of people talked about balancing. I
It's
let
not
that
balance.
go. I let that go so many years ago because I balanced it pretty heavily in my life. I had sometimes there's people still here so you can hear them. So I juggled a lot of balls at the same time, right?
Yes.
When I was a single mom. So I know balance does never work. So that's why I went to non-negotiables, set non-negotiables in your life. They do not change because the day changed or somebody was upset or something happened. The non-negotiables are non-negotiable. That's why they're called non-negotiables. So you can't negotiate with them.
Time with your children.
Yeah. What are
Time
they?
to rest.
What is it for you, right? What is it for you? So getting up at 3 a.m. is a non-negotiable for me, right? Getting up at 3 a.m. is a non-negotiable for me. Why? Because between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., I have my whole day won. I win my whole day. The rest of the time is my time to serve, take care of myself, be with the loved ones, go volunteer, do whatever I like, I can do it. That's because I've created. Am I going to recommend that's a non-negotiable for everybody to live by? No. That's my non-negotiable.
That's right.
What have you set up as a non-negotiable?
What have I set up as a non-negotiable? That's a good question.
Maybe spending time with your pet, no? They're a big
Yeah,
part of it.
a non-negotiable for me, and the reason why I joined this is because I wanted to have time with my husband and I wanted to have time with my dogs and I wanted to be in my garden and I wanted to enjoy life and I wanted to travel.
So time.
Quality
Quality, non-negotiable
time
times.
to be with people and not feel rushed all the time.
Yeah, beautiful.
And many relationships had just faded over teaching. You know, people invite you and you say, I can't because I have to write report cards.
Yes.
I can't because I'm teaching. I can't.
No,
And
because
slowly
I'm
over time,
exhausted.
people just stop inviting. And then you find yourself, and then, I had my non-negotiable is quality time with the people that I love.
Beautiful.
That is it.
And then along with that, instead of balancing, we go to boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
I started drawing boundaries around certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's those two together is the equation to live a life that's fulfilling as you serve others. Because serving, we can't stop, right? Somebody has to jail us.
I have to be careful. Yes, I know.
Stop the serving part. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I will continue to do that service because it's part of the blood of many caretakers who are in this field of education, caretakers, nurses, anybody who's in that position, they cannot stop serving.
Yes,
it's their drive. That's not one of their non-negotiables. Yeah. Service.
And also another one of my non-negotiables is when I rest, I am going to rest and I am not going to feel guilty about it.
Yeah, giving permission to rest.
Yes. If my body is tired, I am going to rest.
Yeah, yesterday I went and after, there was some other speakers, I didn't come with you, right?
That's
because
right.
My body said, that's it for you.
And there were some things that I wanted to put on our table that weren't on our table.
It's fine.
Because I decided I could do that or I could rest and my body needs to rest.
Yes.
And it was fine.
And also we can get into the perfection of it. Like, I don't have it. Now this whole show is going to be not good, but instead we don't need to worry about it. Whatever we had was perfect on our table.
That's right.
That is the perfect table we can ever build. And it was perfect and everybody loved it. So yeah, it's those things, right? Because every day we could stress about things that are not need to be that stressful. We created, nobody else, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, day one, just to wrap up here, for me, day one was those three boys.
Yeah,
I'll
me too.
never forget that scene. It was godsend. I watched them talk to you. I mean, and then someone beside us, the lady said, you should be filming this. And I didn't want to invade into their privacy, but behind the scene, I took some photos of them. And then I heard you say, did you hear that?
Yeah.
And I started crying when he said that.
Yeah, someone came up and talked to me after, and I started crying too.
Yeah, because it's the most beautiful, authentic, purest energy form of a human being that could say to us that this belongs in the school system. Let's get it. At least, can you force it?
From a junior high school boy. Doesn't get better than that. That's
Force
a
it
tough
in.
audience. That's
So
a
I
tough
was one
audience.
of them, and then day two is probably for me. Just sitting and watching you was very, very beautiful for me
You
because I
sat and
didn't.
watched me?
I was across from you.
You told me you weren't watching me. You
You're
told
like,
me you were working.
I know, but as I watched you interact with people, going out of, I could see you into the next energy level. I'm a big energy jumper, so I could see you flowing in that and just being free. No, just conversations after conversations, and you didn't just shut yourself down. Just I was just seeing you flourish.
I
That
felt
was
so
what I wasn't like.
comfortable
What you
here.
say, but it was more like, oh, look at her flow. It's what I
I felt
enjoyed.
so comfortable here, and everyone here just, I kept hearing the conversations in this building, the people here,
Yes.
there was a real energy in this building that was amazing. It
Yes.
really was. It's
Yes.
hopeful. It's really hopeful.
Yes. What about for you? Day one and day two. What's the highlights?
Day one for me was the three boys.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
They were so adorable, and they know exactly what they need. They know exactly what they want, and they understood it.
And what's missing?
And they started connecting us to the teachers that they love and to the things that they like, and they were connecting it to their own lives. They weren't just listening, they were truly understanding.
Yes.
And so that Can We Vote for This came from a place where they understood what we were. It wasn't just cheeky.
Yes.
It was
And
a
I
real
always
understanding.
talked about perspective, and that's something that kids are so capable of, and we leave it as if it's something we can develop on our own, right? But a young age, I think even kindergarten, we can start storytelling, right? Because everybody loves story. If we can start storytelling, what do you think this angle is? What do you think he's thinking? What do you think she's thinking? What do you think that's happening? And then we will always think like that.
Yeah.
All it takes is to think in all angles, right? Then you don't get stuck with this is it. Because how do we get to beating ourselves up? Just saying one story, right? But if I'm
That's
able
right.
to create 4 or 5 different versions of it, then I'm just analyzing. I become an analytic towards it, right? Versus I just create one and I stick with it and I loop it. That's it. He's like this, she's like this. This is what they're doing to me, or this is what's happening, right? But if we say, okay, what about this angle? What about that? Everybody will have a critical mind, right? That critical mindset will start so early. That's important, I think.
And there were a lot of different perspectives in this room.
Oh yeah, this was a full building full of perspective.
I learned so much from some people.
You, and I know good things are just going to continue your way.
Thank you. Yes. Bye. Thank you. That is one of our third table booths.
Yep, our third table down.
She had a real bicycle.
She did.
So
And a tree.
tree and a bicycle. She's
And a book that
florist
she wrote about her son,
who had ADHD.
about
right?
a boy that had ADHD. And she has,
She had a story. She wanted everyone to understand what ADHD is and how it is, so that people can have perspective.
and
Going back to perspective.
and also for those, we had a long conversation about how important it is to be seen in the world that you live in. And I told her there's going to be someone who reads this book about a child that has ADHD and see themselves in a mirror. And for that child, that's everything. And she's already experienced those children. So, and for all of the people here from all of their diverse backgrounds and different perspectives, they all have something to offer. I learned something today I didn't know. I learned about the paper bag test.
I don't know that. What is
The
it?
paper bag test. I don't know enough of it to speak about it, but it was a paper bag was actually used to decide who was going to come in the club. And if you were too white, you couldn't come in the club. And if you were too black, you couldn't come into the club, because that club was for the people who weren't white or black, because they were the children that were the result of the slave owners and their slaves.
I didn't know that.
And they weren't white or black, and the white community didn't want to know they were there, and the black community didn't want to welcome them. So they made their own club. And you would literally put your hand up against a paper bag to decide if you could be in that club. And those clubs are talking.
Yeah,
And
Yeah, you learn something.
You learn something, and you
Yes.
gain some perspective, and you gain some empathy and some understanding,
Yes.
and you talk and they gain empathy and understanding from you,
Yes.
and we all start to look more the same than we are different.
Yes.
And it was just a really
I only
amazing
see
place.
humans always.
Yeah, and I did too, and I think
That's why holistic human development, even this program over the years, started for children. It's now universal for all humans because we're always the same code, right? Same code, but uniqueness, right? It's built with uniqueness, but the code of human beings is
uniqueness.
It's the uniqueness of those codes. Yes, that's why somebody was asking me. Another thing that happened is somebody asked me, "What is soul print biology?" You keep saying soul print biology. What is it? Well, soul print biology is the uniqueness. We have to look at internally. We all have a blueprint. We all have a fingerprint. We all have DNAs that's unique to us. It's exactly like that. We have
No
systems.
two people have the same fingerprint
Prints.
on Earth.
Yes. So we are going to have our own print of blocks because however we experienced it, however we got conditioned, however we made stories of that conditioning is going to imprint and suppress our systems so that when we're trying to express it to perform, we don't know what is suppressing us. Then we have all these words that we can put on it, but it's only from the external world. What is happening internally, right? So that's why we have to go to the soul print biology of it so that we can figure out what that print looks like. Then we can build a custom coaching program that's designed for that person. Now, is it scalable? Obviously, and of course it's scalable because we have machines, we have AIs, we have so many things coming out right now. That's not even a question. It's scalable.
We already saw that it was scalable. So we had a teacher who hasn't even done teaching in flow. She's just in week 4 of Flow Foundations, and she's already doing teaching in flow because she knows it works and she cares about people. So it's not scalable in one sense, but once people feel better, they want to tell people how they got to feel better.
And it's a ripple effect, right?
It is a ripple effect. That's scalability.
Yes, exactly.
That's natural scalability.
Yes.
Right? These humans are thriving over there.
Yes.
Well, they're more likely to survive and they're more likely to tell other people how to survive. That's natural scalability.
Yes. So I want to say thank you for bringing this opportunity into my world. And first, when you introduced it, I was like, no, thank you. And then again, in my space, I have to become also in alignment, right? So then it became an alignment. And then I'm here. Next year, will I come back? Of course. Will I be presenting? Of course, we're going to speak on stage, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to have a booth. And we will be going to more of these because I think it's time for us to speak, share.
I think so too.
Collaborate and and another big thing that happened, I have to say this, is that I've been saying to all of our coaches how compatible we are with psychologists, counselors, therapists. And it was always a question like, how are we different, right? But we hold our own lane. They are professionals in their own ways. We don't cross lanes, but we can implement everything they're trying to implement holistically. One of the problems even they face is having the time and the holistically intervention, implementation is huge part of any process.
And they feel the same way we feel. So when they have a client and they've done everything that they can do and they don't have anything for that client, they're just as happy to see us because now they don't have to let that client go. Now they can help that client in a more effective way. So many people are talking about building wraparound services and buildings where there's occupational therapists and coaches and building.
Because you want to make it holistic.
Yes.
You want to make it holistic.
Yes.
If you isolate everything, it takes a long time to get to the result of it. If it's holistic, that's another thing our world, so many of our things is done that way, right? Everything fragmented, segmented. So we want to bring it all together. She's tired.
I'm very tired. I don't recommend manning a booth for 2 straight days by yourself.
She actually shared a room with me and I get up at 3 a.m. So I probably ruined her sleep.
You're a bit exhausting. Yes. You just go.
I did get up at 3 a.m. and
you're leaning in.
Yes.
I want to lie down.
Yes. So I don't recommend that, but that's how my body works. And again, we want to serve 1.5 billion humans by 2035. And by coming to Banff to this event in 2026 to Mental Health Summit, I can say you can say as well that we are going to get to that number
Yeah.
before 2035. There is
It-
not a question. The ripple effect, it's going to happen. The collaborations are going to happen. We have so many people who want to collaborate with us, who sees this as the foundation of what they want to build, and they can feel it. I can feel it. So you can feel
it's
it.
not, do you want to collaborate? It's
It's
how
do
can we collaborate?
Yeah, the question and the want and the need is already there. So I'm excited to, to come to this, but excited is the word and the feeling that I'm leaving this place with.
And growth.
Growth.
I'm leaving this place with growth
Growth.
because I was just going to come here and listen to people and maybe introduce myself to a few of them.
Yes.
And you put me in this position where I had to talk to people, and I would
Yes.
not have thought to do this by myself.
Yes,
But I'm leaving here knowing
you can do it.
that if there's another conference, I will ask to be an exhibitor, and I will set up our booth, and I will talk to people,
Beautiful.
and I will tell them, and
Beautiful.
that's scalability, right?
High five. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you're a counselor, if you're a district, in the district of any school board, just reach out to us. Let's see how we can collaborate. Let's see how we can come into your district and help your teachers really come home to themselves, and so that they can serve, so you don't have to face all the absences, right? Like so much absence, right? Teachers are taking because they can't cope with it. Children are not learning. So let's fix it. Like we have solutions. We, in this room, in this building, we had so many people with solutions too.
What I've heard from so many people that are caregivers, and this includes teachers, the real source of the burnout and the disillusionment is because I think teachers naturally hold space. They hold space for students in hard times. They
Yes.
hold space for families in hard times.
Yes.
They make it safe to get messy.
Yes.
And now that teachers need someone to hold that space for them, and a lot of caregivers are at that point of burnout, and they just need someone to hold that space for them to make it safe to heal and tools to heal, and no one's there to hold that space for them. And we're ready to hold that space for them
Yes.
and teach them how to hold that space for other
Others
people.
continue to, yeah.
And I think that just that in itself, just saying to a teacher, we know this is going to be a process and we want you to be you again. And we're going to do this for you, and to hold that space and give them the time to go through the messy, ugly parts of really looking at yourself and understanding why these things are happening and how do I change them. That's not easy.
Yes.
They need someone to hold them there and make it safe. And instead they're being told, well, maybe you're done, right? And I think just the act of holding that space for staff,
Yes.
even if they don't, they're going to feel like someone cared,
Yes.
like someone valued them. And that alone is going to make teachers want to work at your school.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't like that?
Right?
Who doesn't?
That's better than any benefit plan.
Yes. So thank you. And if you guys have anybody watching, any of you watching, send me a DM, send us questions, and we will answer them. And we are going to move forward with our ripple effect and serving 1.5 billion humans by 2035. Thank you. Love
I
it.
believe that's going to happen
Love
more
it.
than ever.
Love it. Thank you, Tony. Thank you for coming with me here.
Thank you.
Thank you.